You see, most people spend their entire lives trying to avoid pain, running from any shadow of discomfort as if it were a predator in the dark. They seek the easy chair, the short path, and the comfortable silence of mediocrity. But here is the sober truth that life eventually teaches every man and woman: you cannot escape pain. It is the one guest that always arrives, uninvited and on time. The only choice you truly have, the only real freedom you possess, is to decide which kind of pain you are willing to carry. Will you carry the small daily burden of discipline, or will you wait for the crushing, immovable weight of regret to find you a decade from now? One weighs ounces, the other weighs tons, but both will demand payment in full. Have you ever stopped to wonder which weight is currently pulling at your shoulders today? It is a fascinating thing to observe the way we humans approach the concept of cost. We are so careful with our dollars, so precise with our cents, and yet we are so incredibly careless with the currency of our days. We think that if we skip the effort today, we've somehow saved something. We think that by choosing the easy path, the path of least resistance, we've made a clever bargain with life. But life is a master accountant. Life keeps a ledger that never forgets a single entry. You see, there is a fundamental law in this universe that most people spend their entire lives trying to negotiate with, and that law is the law of the price. Everything, and I mean everything, has a price tag attached to it. Every dream you have, every goal you set, every level of character you hope to achieve, it all comes with a cost. And the great tragedy of the human experience is not that the price is too high. The tragedy is that people don't realize they are paying the price of regret every single time they refuse to pay the price of discipline. Discipline. It's a word that makes people flinch. They think of it as a cage. They think of it as a set of rules that takes away their freedom. But I'm here to tell you that discipline is the only thing that actually grants you freedom. Without discipline, you are a slave to your moods. Without discipline, you are a slave to the weather, a slave to the opinions of others, a slave to your own lazy impulses. You are not free. You are just drifting, and drifting always leads to the rocks. I want you to think about that word, drifting. Most people don't fail because they plan to fail. They fail because they didn't plan anything at all. They just drifted. They drifted into a health crisis. They drifted into a broken marriage. They drifted into a bank account that is empty. They drifted into a life that they don't even recognize. And that is the architecture of a wasted life. It's a life built without a blueprint. It's a life built without the architect's eye. You have to be the architect of your own existence. You have to sit down with the drawing board and decide where the walls go, where the foundation is poured, and how high the roof will reach. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Not much at all. Contrast the majority of people with the few who truly succeed. The majority focuses on the comfort of the moment. They focus on the relief of avoiding the hard work. They focus on the pleasure of the now. But the successful, those who have designed their lives with intention, they focus on the consequences of the later. They understand the scales. They understand that on one side of the scale you have the weight of discipline. And yes, it is a weight. It's the weight of getting out of bed when it's cold. It's the weight of saying no to the distractions. It's the weight of doing the things you don't feel like doing. But that weight, it weighs ounces, it weighs grams. It is a light burden that you carry today so that you don't have to carry a much heavier burden tomorrow. On the other side of the scale is the weight of regret. And that weight does not weigh ounces, it weighs tons. It weighs tons of heavy, cold, immovable stone. It is the weight of looking back and realizing that you had the potential, you had the talent, you had the time, but you let it all slip through your fingers because you wanted to be comfortable. You wanted the easy way. But the easy way is a trap. The easy way is a lie. The easy way is the most expensive way to live because it ends in the highest possible price, the realization that it's too late. Think about the difference. Discipline is a choice you make. Regret is a sentence you serve. Discipline is an investment. Regret is a debt. Discipline is something you do to yourself to make yourself better. Regret is something that happens to you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do. I've often said that we must all suffer one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. You cannot choose a life without pain. That's a fantasy. That's a fairy tale for children. In the real world, the world where we build businesses and families and legacies, pain is a constant. but you get to choose the quality of your pain. You get to choose the purpose of your pain. Does your pain lead to a better version of yourself, or does your pain lead to a hollow feeling in your chest when you look at the calendar? The majority of people choose the pain of the moment, the pain of the work, to be their enemy. They run from it. But the successful embrace that small pain. They welcome the discipline because they know it is the only thing standing between them and the crushing weight of a life unlived. They know that every time they exercise discipline, they are paying off the future debt of regret. They are making sure that when they reach the end of the road, they can look back with a sense of pride rather than a sense of shame. It is a simple equation, really. It's so simple that most people miss it. They think life is complex. They think success is a secret hidden in a vault. But it's not. It's right there on the scales. It's right there in the small daily decisions. It's in the way you spend your morning. It's in the way you talk to yourself. It's in the books you read and the people you surround yourself with. These are the ounces of discipline. They are small. They are light. You can carry them. You can handle them. But if you drop them, if you cast them aside, you are inviting the tons of regret to take their place. And once those tons arrive, you cannot lift them. You cannot move them. You just have to live under them. You have to live with the knowledge of what could have been. You have to live with the ghosts of your own potential. And that, my friend, is a weight that no human being was meant to carry. It's a weight that breaks the spirit. It's a weight that turns the heart bitter. It's a weight that makes the sunset look gray. So I ask you, as we look at these scales today, as we look at the design of your life, which side are you feeding? Are you adding to the ounces of discipline, or are you accumulating the tons of regret? Are you the architect who is carefully measuring every board and every nail, or are you just drifting through the construction site hoping that a palace will somehow build itself? Because if you don't choose the weight of discipline today, what makes you think you'll be able to survive the weight of regret tomorrow? I remember so vividly what it felt like to be 25 years old. I was a farm boy from Idaho, raised on the soil, taught the value of hard work, yet there I was, 6 years into my professional life, and I was broke. Not just broke in my bank account, but broke in my spirit. I remember the embarrassment of having more month left at the end of the money than money at the end of the month. I had a beautiful family, a wife I loved, children who looked up to me, and yet I was failing them. I was failing myself. I spent my days as a stock clerk at Sears, doing just enough to get by, just enough not to get fired. I was a master of the easy way. I was a master of the shortcut. I was drifting, and I didn't even know I was drifting. One day there was a knock at my door. A little Girl Scout was standing there selling those famous cookies. She gave me the best sales pitch I'd ever heard, full of charm and sincerity. She asked me to buy a few boxes. It was only $2. Just $2. But I didn't have it. I didn't have $2 to my name. I was so ashamed, so deeply embarrassed by my own lack of discipline over the previous 6 years that I couldn't even tell her the truth. I lied to a Girl Scout. I told her I already had plenty of cookies. I lied to cover up my failure. The moment I closed that door, the weight of that lie hit me like a physical blow. That was the weight of regret. It didn't weigh ounces. It felt like it weighed tons. It felt like the entire house was pressing down on my shoulders. I remember standing in that hallway, looking at my reflection in the mirror and realizing that I had spent years avoiding the small disciplines of saving, the small disciplines of learning, the small disciplines of planning. And because I had avoided those ounces of effort, I was now forced to carry tons of shame. I decided right then and there that I would never live like that again. I decided that I would rather work myself to the bone than ever have to lie about $2 again. Shortly after that, I met a man who would change the entire trajectory of my life. His name was Earl Schaff. We called him the Billionaire Shaker because of his success in the supplement business, his shaker days. I'll never forget our first meeting. He looked at me with those wise, piercing eyes and asked me a very simple, very direct question. He said, "Jim, how are you doing? How is the bank account looking? How is the progress coming along?" I started to give him my list. I had a long list of reasons why I wasn't doing well. I blamed the government. I blamed the taxes. I blamed the weather in Idaho. I blamed the company. I blamed my lack of education. I blamed everything and everyone I could think of. I was very good at making that list. I had become a professional at explaining my own mediocrity. Mr. Schaff listened patiently, and then he said something that I will never forget. He said, "Jim, That is a very impressive list of reasons. The only problem is that you aren't on it. You aren't on the list. He told me that for things to change, I had to change. For things to get better, I had to get better. He told me that the reason my bank account was empty was not because of the economy, but because I had refused to practice the simple disciplines of a successful man. He taught me about the scales. He told me, Jim, you are currently suffering from the pain of regret because you have ignored the pain of discipline. He said, discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. He repeated it until it was burned into my soul. He told me that every single day I had a choice. I could choose the small, uncomfortable tasks of self-improvement, or I could wait for the massive, crushing weight of failure to arrive. I remember the first time I had to apply this. It was in my shaker days, selling those vitamins and supplements. There were days when it was raining, days when I was tired, days when I didn't want to make the calls or knock on the doors. I would feel that old urge to drift, that old urge to take the easy path, but then I would remember the Girl Scout. I would remember the lie. I would remember the weight of that shame, and I would tell myself, Jim, do the work. Pay the price of discipline now. It only weighs an ounce. It's just one phone call. It's just one more hour of study. It's just one more presentation. I want you to really listen to what I'm saying here. I'm going to leave a few moments of quiet at the end of this video for you to really sit with this story, to let it sink into your bones, because you are probably standing at your own door right now. Someone is knocking. Maybe it's an opportunity. Maybe it's a responsibility. Maybe it's your own potential asking why you haven't answered yet. Are you going to lie to yourself again? Are you going to tell yourself that you have plenty of time, that you have plenty of excuses, that you'll start tomorrow? Tomorrow is the graveyard of dreams. Tomorrow is where the tons of regret are manufactured. Mr. Schaaf taught me that the difference between a life of abundance and a life of lack is found in the way you handle the small things, the small disciplines, the little things that are easy to do but also easy not to do. It's easy to save a little money. It's also easy not to. It's easy to read a book that will change your mind. It's also easy not to. It's easy to take care of your health today. It's also easy not to. But when you choose not to do the easy, disciplined things, you are not avoiding pain. You are simply delaying it. You are taking out a high-interest loan on your future. And let me tell you, the interest rates on regret are devastating. They will take everything you have. They will take your pride, they will take your joy, they will take your peace of mind. I spent years carrying those tons. I know how heavy they are. I know how they make your heart feel like lead. I know how they keep you awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering what happened to the man you were supposed to become. But I also know the lightness of discipline. I know the incredible feeling of power that comes from knowing you did your best. I know the confidence that grows when you stop making excuses and start making progress. Success is not a mystery. It is the natural consequence of the consistent application of basic disciplines. That's it. That is the whole secret. It's the ounces versus the tons. It's the daily choice to be the master of your own fate rather than a victim of your own laziness. So, as you listen to my voice and you think about your own life, your own bank account, your own family, and your own future, I want you to be honest with yourself. I want you to look in that mirror I looked in all those years ago in Idaho. What weight are you carrying right now? Are you tired of the heavy lifting? Are you tired of the tons of regret pressing down on your chest? Because if you are, there is a way out. But the exit door is marked with a word most people hate. It's marked with the word discipline. It starts with 1 ounce, one small act, one decision to be better than you were yesterday, one commitment to stop drifting and start designing. You have the power to change the scales. You have the power to lighten the load. But you have to be willing to feel the small sting of the work so you can avoid the permanent ache of the wasted years. I'm telling you this as a friend. I'm telling you this as someone who has been on both sides of those scales. The ounces are much, much lighter than the tons. Why would you ever choose the weight that breaks you when you could choose the weight that builds you? Now, let us look deeper into the mechanics of why this happens, because if you understand the why, the how becomes much easier. You see, the world is governed by laws that do not change. They didn't change for the Romans, they didn't change for our ancestors on the farm, and they won't change for you because you have a smartphone or a fast internet connection. One of the most fundamental laws you must master is the law of the sail. The same wind blows on us all. The wind of opportunity, the wind of economic change, the wind of social shift, the wind of tragedy, and the wind of joy. It blows on the rich and the poor, the young and the old. You cannot change the wind. You cannot wish the wind away. You cannot complain the wind into a different direction. The only thing you can do, the only thing that makes a difference in where you end up 5 years from now, is your ability to set a better sail. Setting the sail is the ultimate act of discipline. It is the daily work of adjusting your thoughts, your habits, and your actions to catch the wind in a way that moves you toward your destination, rather than letting the wind blow you onto the rocks of regret. And what is the sail? The sail is your philosophy. It is how you think. It is the way you process the world around you. Most people have a sail full of holes. They have a philosophy of maybe, a philosophy of later, a philosophy of it's not my fault. And then they wonder why they are stuck in the same harbor year after year, watching everyone else sail out toward the horizon of success. They are waiting for the wind to change, but the wind is not going to change. The wind is just the wind. You must be the one to change. You must be the one to practice the discipline of checking your sail every single morning. Every single morning, you must look at your habits and ask yourself if they are helping you catch the wind or if they are holding you back. This is the elaboration of the struggle. This is the core of the human conflict. We are all engaged in a constant battle between our desire for the result and our distaste for the process. Consider the law of the seasons. This is perhaps the most profound lesson nature has to offer us. There is a time for planting and a time for reaping. You cannot reap in the autumn if you did not plant in the spring, and you cannot skip the labor of the summer, the protection of the crop, the pulling of the weeds, the watering of the soil, and expect to find a harvest waiting for you when the cold winds begin to blow. Life is not a lottery. Life is a harvest, and the harvest is strictly, almost cruelly, honest. If you plant seeds of neglect, if you plant seeds of laziness, if you plant seeds of I'll do it tomorrow, then the harvest of regret is guaranteed. It is not a possibility. It is a mathematical certainty. The weight of those tons of regret is simply the accumulated mass of all the seeds you failed to plant when you had the chance. We must also talk about the danger of the small error in judgment. Most people think that failure is a single cataclysmic event. They think that one day the business just goes bankrupt, or one day the marriage just ends, or one day the health just fails. But that's not how it works. Failure is rarely a blow from a sledgehammer. Failure is the slow, silent accumulation of dust. It is the small error in judgment repeated every single day. It is the decision to eat the wrong food day after day. It is the decision to skip the book day after day. It is the decision to not make the call day after day. Each of those decisions feels small. Each of those decisions feels like it weighs nothing. It feels like an ounce of neglect. But neglect is a heavy substance. It stacks up. It piles up in the corners of your life until one day you try to move and you realize you are pinned down by the weight of 1,000 small failures. You are pinned down by the tons of regret that you built yourself, 1 ounce at a time. Success is the exact opposite. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every single day. Every day. Every day. It's the discipline of saving a few dollars. It's the discipline of walking for 20 minutes. It's the discipline of saying I love you to the people who matter. It's the discipline of reading 10 pages of a good book. These things are easy to do, but they are also easy not to do. And that is the secret of the successful person. They do the things that are easy to do, but also easy not to do, and they do them consistently. They choose the ounce of discipline today because they know it's the only way to avoid the ton of regret tomorrow. They understand that the price of discipline must be paid in the morning, or the price of regret will be collected in the evening. There is no middle ground. There is no third option. Why is it that we find it so hard to choose the discipline? It's because the price of discipline is paid now, but the reward is in the future. Meanwhile, the price of neglect is paid in the future, but the reward, the ease, the comfort is now. We are tempted by the immediate relief of doing nothing. We are seduced by the comfort of the couch and the silence of the unmade phone call. We tell ourselves that it doesn't matter. We tell ourselves that one day won't make a difference, but one day is the building block of a week. A week is the building block of a month. A month is the building block of a year, and a year is the building block of a life. When you waste a day, you aren't just wasting 24 hours, you are chipping away at the foundation of your future. You are adding weight to the wrong side of the scale, You must develop a healthy fear of neglect. You must become terrified of the small error. You must look at a single day of laziness not as a well-deserved break, but as a dangerous infection that can spread through the rest of your life. You have to be the guardian of your own time. You have to be the policeman of your own thoughts. If you don't discipline your mind, the world will discipline it for you, and the world's discipline is harsh. The world will teach you through poverty. The world will teach you through loneliness. The world will teach you through the bitter taste of what if. Those are the tons. Those are the weights that break men. Think about the architecture of your day. If I were to look at your schedule, would I see a plan for a harvest, or would I see a plan for a famine? Would I see the small, deliberate ounces of effort being placed on the scale, or would I see the empty spaces where the tons of regret are already starting to form? You cannot hide from the scales. You can lie to your friends, you can lie to your family, you can even lie to a Girl Scout at your door, but you cannot lie to the scales of life. They know exactly what you have put into the day. They know exactly what you have avoided, and they will return to you exactly what you deserve. It is time to stop drifting. It is time to stop hoping for a better wind and start setting a better sail. It is time to realize that the pain of doing the work is a gift because it is the only thing that protects you from the pain of having failed. The discipline is the armor. The discipline is the shield. The discipline is the path. Every time you push through the resistance, every time you do the hard thing when you could have done the easy thing, you are making yourself lighter. You are shedding the potential weight of regret. You are becoming a person of substance, a person of character, a person who can look the future in the eye without flinching. But let me ask you this, and I want you to be very quiet in your heart when you answer. If you continue to live exactly as you have lived for the last 30 days, where will you be in 10 years? Will you be standing on the deck of your own ship, or will you be buried under the weight of the things you never did? Now we have come to the moment of truth, the moment where we move past the stories of others and step directly into the mirror of your own life. It is time for a mental audit. It is time to stop the music, stop the distractions, and look at the cold, hard numbers of your own existence. Because numbers do not lie, your bank account does not lie, your physical health does not lie, your relationships do not lie, they are the scoreboard of your life, and if you do not like the score, you have to stop blaming the referee and start looking at your own play. I want to ask you some questions that might make you uncomfortable. I want to ask you the kind of questions that a father asks a son when he sees him drifting toward a cliff. I want to ask you the questions that Mr. Schoaf asked me when I was 25 and broke, working as a stock clerk at Sears, trying to pretend that I was doing just fine. Let us start with your library. How many books have you read in the last 90 days that have actually challenged your thinking? How many pages have you turned that have given you a new skill or a better philosophy? Most people have a TV that costs $2,000 and a library that costs $20. That is a small error in judgment that leads to a massive weight of regret. If you don't read, you don't grow. If you don't grow, you don't change. And if you don't change, your future will look exactly like your past, only older and more tired. Is that the weight you want to carry? The weight of a mind that has stayed small while the world moved on? Now let us look at your associations. Who are you spending your time with? Are they people who demand more of you, or are they people who help you make excuses? Are they adding to your ounces of discipline, or are they helping you accumulate your tons of regret? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 people are drifting, you are drifting. If those 5 people are complaining, you are complaining. You must have the discipline to walk away from the wrong tables if you ever want to sit at the right ones. It is a hard discipline. It is an uncomfortable discipline. But it only weighs an ounce compared to the ton of realizing 20 years from now that you wasted your best years trying to fit in with people who were going nowhere. What about your health? What are you putting into the temple of your body? Are you practicing the discipline of the apple a day, or are you practicing the neglect of the candy bar and the couch? You see, the body is a marvelous machine, but it is also a ledger. It remembers every skipped workout. It remembers every night of poor sleep. It remembers every choice to take the easy way. And when the bill comes due, and it always comes due, the weight of that physical regret is a burden that no amount of money can lift. Why would you wait for the heart attack? Why would you wait for the exhaustion? Why not pay the small daily price of the walk and the water today? It only weighs an ounce. I want you to look at your calendar. If I were to look at your last 7 days, would I see a man or a woman who is building a legacy, or would I see someone who is just trying to get through the week? Most people are just trying to get to Friday. They are looking for the weekend, looking for the escape, looking for the relief. But the successful are looking for the progress. They are looking for the discipline. They are looking for the opportunity to pay the price today so they can own the tomorrow. I am challenging you today to stop being a spectator in your own life. Stop watching the clock and start being the one who moves the hands. Don't rush to the next video after this. Don't go looking for another hit of cheap motivation. Motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. I told you that I would leave a few moments of quiet at the end of this video, and I meant it. That will be your time to sit with these questions. That will be your time to look at the audit. I want you to be brutally honest with yourself. I want you to look at the excuses you have been carrying around like a security blanket. I want you to look at the reasons why you haven't started, why you haven't saved, why you haven't learned. And then I want you to ask yourself, are those excuses worth the weight of the tons that are coming? Are those excuses going to feel good when you are 65 and looking back at the man or woman you could have been? You see, the truth is that you are already paying a price. You are paying a price right now. Every day you choose the easy way, you are paying with your potential. Every day you choose the distraction, you are paying with your future. You are already in the market buying your destiny. The only question is, what are you bringing home in your basket? Is it the light, manageable weight of a life well lived through discipline? Or is it the crushing, dark, immovable weight of the things you never did? I want you to take a piece of paper today and write down the 3 biggest neglects in your life. Be honest, write them down. Maybe it's your finances, maybe it's your health, maybe it's the way you treat your family. And then, next to those neglects, I want you to write down the 1 ounce discipline you can start today. Just 1 ounce, not a ton. You don't have to change everything in an hour. You just have to change the direction of the sale. 1 book, 1 walk, $1 saved, 1 phone call, 1 apology. These are the ounces. They are so small that they seem insignificant, but they are the only things that can save you from the tons. How much longer are you going to wait? How much more weight are you willing to pile onto the wrong side of the scale before you decide that enough is enough? How many more years are you going to trade for the comfort of the moment? The weight of regret is not something that happens all at once. It is something you build day by day through the small choices you make when you think no one is watching. But life is watching. The scales are watching, and you are watching. You cannot run from your own conscience. You cannot hide from the knowledge of what you are capable of. So as we prepare for the end of this talk, as we prepare for that time of silence, I want you to get ready to face yourself. I want you to get ready to make a choice. Not a big, dramatic, public choice, but a small, quiet, private choice. A choice that only you will know about. A choice to start carrying the ounces so you never have to carry the tons. Because let me tell you, there is no pain more bitter, no weight more heavy, and no darkness more deep than the realization that you had the life you wanted right in front of you, and you let it slip away because you thought the price of discipline was too high. I'm asking you, with all the sincerity of a man who has stood where you are standing, how much longer are you going to let the tons of regret accumulate before you finally decide to pick up the ounces of discipline? The time for talk is over. The time for the list of excuses is gone. I have lived long enough to tell you that the most dangerous lie you can ever tell yourself is that you will start when things get easier. Things do not get easier. Life does not get easier. You just get stronger or you get weaker. You either grow the muscle of discipline or you allow the rot of regret to consume your foundation. I remember standing in the dirt back in Idaho, looking at the horizon and realizing that the sun was going to go down whether I was a success or a failure. The universe doesn't care about your feelings. The world doesn't care if you are tired. The only thing that matters is the result. The only thing that remains is the character you forged in the fire of doing what was necessary when you didn't want to do it. Listen to the sound of your own heart. That is the clock ticking. Every beat is a second you will never get back. Every beat is a moment where you are either adding an ounce of discipline or allowing a ton of regret to settle in your soul. You have the power right now, in this very second, to change the entire destination of your life. You can decide right now to never be average again. You can decide right now that the person you were for the last 10 years is dead and gone, and a new architect has taken over the site. You can decide that the price of discipline is not a burden, but a privilege. It is a privilege to work. It is a privilege to sweat. It is a privilege to wake up early and study while the rest of the world is sleeping. It is a privilege to be the one who takes responsibility for their own life. Stop looking for a savior. Stop looking for a miracle. You are the miracle. You are the savior. You are the one who has to pick up the tools and start building. I went from that stock clerk at Sears, from that man who lied about $2, to a man who traveled the world and shared these truths with millions. And I didn't do it because I was special. I didn't do it because I was lucky. I did it because I finally got tired of the wait. I got tired of the shame. I got tired of the tons of regret. I decided that I would pay any price. I would do any work. I would practice any discipline to be free of that crushing burden. And you can do the same. You must do the same. The world needs you to be strong. Your family needs you to be strong. Your future self is screaming at you to be strong. Don't you dare let them down. Don't you dare settle for the crumbs of life when the whole banquet is waiting for those who are willing to pay the price. Stand up, straighten your back, look the world in the eye and say, I am done drifting. I am done making excuses. I am ready for the discipline. I am ready for the work. I am ready for the life I was meant to live. This is your moment of transition. This is where the old you ends and the new you begins. We have talked about the scales. We have talked about the ounces and the tons. Now the time for my voice is coming to an end. It is time for the most important part of this journey. It is time for the silence. Don't turn this off. Don't go to the next video. Stay right here. The music will fade. The screen will stay. And you will be left with nothing but your own thoughts and the weight of the truth. This is the time for you to decide which weight you are going to carry for the rest of your life. I want you to sit in this silence and let these words burn into your mind. I want you to see the two paths. I want you to feel the lightness of the ounces and the crushing heaviness of the tons. And before you leave this moment, I want you to make one promise to yourself, not to me, not to the world, to yourself. Are you going to be the master of your discipline, or are you going to be the servant of your regret? The silence is here. The choice is yours. What is the very first ounce of discipline you will pick up the second this video ends?